What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome to another edition of Broncos Daily with your host, Kurt Valenti. You want the latest Bronco news, Bronco rumors, trade talk, draft talk? This is the place to be. Make sure you subscribe, like, and also please comment throughout these videos. And on a future video, I will get to your comment. So, hey, now we're down days, right? A couple days away from the start of NFL free agency. Moves are coming in. A couple trades in the NFL today. A couple moves the Denver Broncos made. We'll get to that later on. But let's really start breaking into a couple of more positions of where the Broncos need to get better, and that is tight end. And we spoke a little bit about the tight end position in the draft. We know the Denver Broncos met with a bunch of college prospects at the combine at the tight end position, obviously led by Kenyon Sadiq, the freak tight end out of Oregon. But again, before we get into the NFL draft, we're going to hit free agency starting Monday afternoon. So let's look at our options in free agency. A couple things I heard today, and again, from Mike Kliss, one of the big-time Bronco insiders, that odds are Evan Ingram will be back with the Denver Broncos. That is something I like. Again, he is a talented player. Was he used 100% by Sean the correct way? I'm going to say no. But word is that Davis Webb has a good relationship with Evan. He is looking forward to getting him more involved this year. And not just him, I think we have to add at the tight end position. I think we have to add in free agency. And I would like to also, draft a young tight end, right? Groom him, develop him. Listen, if he can get on the field now a little bit this year, great. But I think that's why it's important we go into tight end and get ourselves a legit tight end that we can pair with Evan Ingram for this season. So let's talk about a couple of names in the tight end, in the tight end free agency class. Number one, obviously, we're going to go with Dallas Goedert, Philadelphia. Super Bowl winner, great pass receiver. I like that, with Philly, especially the past couple of years when Barkley came there, they became a run-first team. So we know he can commit to the run. He can run block, which is big. Again, just gives you another option, right? I mean, if you can give me Dallas Goedert and compare and pair him with Evan Ingram, let's go. I will definitely take that. So Dallas Goedert, what do you guys? What's your thoughts on that? I like him. Second guy, and this is my favorite guy, and we did a little segment on him a couple days ago. Cade Otton from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The thing I like about him is, out of this list, I think he is the best tight end that can be a 3-down, every down tight end, meaning he can block and he can be obviously a big-time participant in the pass game. We want to run the ball a lot more this year, right? We've been talking about how we want to improve not only in the draft but in free agency by getting a big-time running back and maybe pairing him with Dobbins and pairing him, if we can get Dobbins back, and obviously pairing him with R.J. Harvey going forward. So if we want to run the ball, what comes off of running the ball? And that's play action. So I think if we can get in, I think that is a big time get for us, because not only is he a good pass catcher, he's a good blocker, right? We don't have to take him off the field. When we have Ingram in, last year it was kind of like, okay, we're not going to run the ball because Ingram's really not a good good run blocker. He's more of a pass receiver, right? So when Ingram's in, we're going to throw the ball. When Troutman came in, we're going to run the ball. I mean, those are keys. You can't do that in the NFL. Tendencies and stuff like that. It doesn't work. We need a tight end that's going to be able to block. My favorite one is Cade Otton. I would get him. I don't think he's going to be, as expensive as a Njoku, as a Goddard. So that's my number one right now. And again, Otton and Ingram, pair both of them, right? I don't want to just give up on the Evan Ingram experience, right? Experiment. I think he's too talented of a player. But, we also need a tight end that can do both, right? Like Troutman blocks, but he's, no one's going to respect him in the pass game. That's where Cade Otton comes in. Give me Cade Otton with Evan Ingram. I'm signing up for that any day of the week. Other ones, Isaiah Likely from Tampa Bay. I'm sorry, from Baltimore. Younger, more athletic. I like him. He stepped in for Mark Andrews when he was injured. Again, that would be somebody I would love to get on board. What's your thoughts on Isaiah Likely? Travis Kelce, listen, I'll put him on the list because he's a free agent, but we all know, if he does go back, he's going to Kansas City. That's fine. I mean, listen, I don't even want him. Listen, you're a Chief. Hey, you're our competitor. You're our competitors, and you're looking up at us now. We're the AFC West champs. So let him go back to Kansas City. Noah Fant. Again, the Noah Fant that we drafted in the first round a couple of years ago out of Iowa, free agent this time. I don't think the Broncos will look for him. The thing I do like about him, again, he's an athletic pass-catching tight end, something we really don't have. A little younger than Ingram, probably a better blocker than Ingram, but I just don't think the Broncos will go there. David Njoku, that's a guy I do like. Again, last year at the trade deadline, Broncos were rumored to have interest in Njoku. Cleveland decided to keep him. Now he's a free agent. Little older, some injuries in his past, but listen, when healthy, this guy is a game changer. Hurt us a couple Monday nights ago. I believe it was 2 years ago we played them on a Monday night. We couldn't cover them. They got a younger tight end there, Fannin. So it made, this move expendable for Cleveland, but that is somebody, again, I would not mind adding him to our tight end room, pairing him with Evan Ingram, and he can block. We could spread him out. He's a mismatch. But I just he's more of a physical player, right? He's more of a physical player than Ingram. And the last guy is Okongwu out of Tennessee. A second tier for me after Goddard, after Otton, after Likely, after Njoku. But a guy, again, if he's available, the money is not right for the other guys, I jump on board with that. Again, my three, Otton 1, probably Njoku 2, Goddard 3. Those three are my top three. I think we have a legit shot at one of those three. I think Otton might be the guy. I would be all in for Otton. Again, keep Evan Ingram, keep that tandem, draft a younger guy in the draft, and now we just rebuilt that tight end room. You want to bring Troutman back as the fourth tight end, and I know that Sean loves him. That's fine. I don't want to be running routes with Troutman. Maybe in a third and a fourth and one situation, and we really want to run the ball. That's where we use them. But other than that, that room's got to get younger. The room's got to get more athletic, and we got to get a tight end who could do both. Receiving tight end and a run blocking tight end. So Otton, Goddard, and Njoku for me. Broncos country. What do you think? Talking about against some moves today, and there were a couple moves. Another receiver, DJ Moore, got traded from the Bears to Buffalo. The Broncos really were never in on DJ Moore. There was no reports that they were interested in him, with the Bears being able to move him. Buffalo picks up a wide receiver. Talking about Buffalo, an ex-Buffalo Bill and now an ex-New England Patriot, Stefon Diggs, was told that he will be released at the start of the next NFL season, and that starts on Monday. So if you guys remember, Stefon Diggs was heavily rumored last year that the Broncos had interest in him. There were talks between them in free agency, and Diggs had some interest in coming to Denver, but eventually he signed with New England. Again, exceptional player. In all of his NFL seasons, he's had 1,000 yards receiving but one. Last year in New England, 85 receptions, 1,013 yards, 4 touchdowns. The problem is off the field trouble, right? He got into major trouble off the field at the end of the year, was allowed to play in the playoffs. Wasn't that big of I believe he scored a touchdown against Houston in the divisional round, but didn't do much. I think he had 4 or 5 catches for not many yards against us in the AFC Championship game. But, the off-the-field troubles is the issue. So, should the Broncos look into signing Stefon Diggs. I'm a little torn on this one, right? I've been saying on this pod, I want more talent. We have to upgrade. And is he an upgrade to some of our receivers? Yes. But unlike A.J. Brown, in my opinion, the off the field issues, I don't know if that could be fixed. The on the field issues with A.J. Brown and the attitude in the locker room, that could be fixed. But this off the field, listen, we don't know. Just say we do sign him. Is he going to get suspended by the league? We don't know, right? So we don't know. Now, I don't want to 100% cross him off the list because, again, let's see how it goes. Are we out on Alec Pierce? Are we not going to trade for A.J. Brown? Are we not going to trade for Jalen Waddle? If all those guys are down and we move we move money, we get ourselves a nice running back, we get ourselves a tight end, and there's not much left, in the wide receiver room, but Diggs is there. It would be something I look at, but on a very, very low contract offer. So, if something does happen off the field again, if he does get suspended, he's an upgrade though, right? Like we do need a veteran. We need a veteran in this room. And again, if he wouldn't be our one, Cortland would still be our one. Would he be our 2 or 3 behind Marvin Mims and whatever? We can say it however we want to say it. But again, he would be one of the more talented players on our team. I just don't know if I want to go. Like I would roll the dice with A.J. Brown and those issues because I think Sean could fix that. The off the field here and the legal troubles he could be in, I don't know if I want to do it. Again, I'm not going to cross it off because if I could get him on the cheap, I could get him with no guaranteed money. I could get him to where, hey, let's see how he comes in. Let's see what he's got in training camp. And maybe we release him before the season starts. But if he does come in training camp and he's lighting it up and we have him on a cheap deal, yeah, it's something I'm going to look at, right? So again, I'm not crossing him off. There's no way he's in my top 3 or 4 options. But just remember, Broncos country, there was something there last year where Sean Payton, the organization, liked him. He had interest in Denver. He eventually wound up in New England, but it was close for him coming to Denver. So, it would be a lot cheaper this year. And, just what's your thoughts? Like, again, I'm not going to cross him off, but I'm not going to be the first one in line calling him saying I'm bringing him to Denver. So I'm going to I'm going to do a little hold pattern there and see what goes on everywhere else before I revisit that. But what's your thoughts, Bronco Country? Any interest at all in Stefon Diggs? And again, some breaking news today, DJ Moore going to Buffalo. So you see these teams, teams that we're going to play, teams we're going to have to, get through in the postseason to get to a Super Bowl. Adding weapons, right? So, now it's going to be our turn. It's going to be our turn in that receiver room, that tight end room, and wide receiver room. And we do still have the draft, and the Broncos have been linked to a lot of wide receivers in the first, second, and third round. But, I don't know if I just want to wait to the draft and see what's there and what's not there and just run it back with this room. I know Sean Payton and George Payton says they like this room with Franklin and Brian and Mims, but I think we're missing a piece. We're missing that one more piece again, where I can either have somebody that's equivalent to Courtland Sutton, that's going to bump Courtland to a 2 and he goes to a 1, and then Mims can play that 3 spot. Another name, and we'll get to it. Shaheed from Seattle, another guy we were interested in. And listen, if they want to get Mims more involved in the receiving game, and they're saying they want to take some, off of his plate as a kick returner, I mean, Shaheed's one of the best, if not the best in the NFL. He also is a deep threat. I have no problem, running it back and go with Mims and add Shaheed to this. But what's your thoughts, Broncos Country? Stefon Diggs, any interest at all? He will be released early next week from the Patriots. Close to signing him last year. Would you revisit Diggs to the Broncos again this year? Getting off the topic of the free agency, I want to go over one thing real quick. And, it might even be stupid talking about it, but we got to talk about it on here. The Russell Wilson Sean Payton feud, it's still continuing. You know, Russell Wilson went on a podcast and talking about Sean Payton and how Sean Payton did him dirty, and saying he had a room in Seattle. He had his office in Seattle, and that's why he had it in Denver. And listen, I have always backed Russ. I wanted the Broncos to make the trade for Russ. I was happy when that trade came down. I was kind of a little upset at first when Sean benched him and decided let's move on for him. But Sean was right. Look at what Sean did. Look how much better they are with Bo Nix than Russell Wilson, right? And it was a bold move, right? It was a very bold move. I mean, to tell ownership, I know you just signed this guy to extension, but I don't want to play him one more down under the new extension. Let's just pay for the money and, cut him, pay for it, and go from there. And, listen, we all heard what Russ did, right, in Denver when he had his own room and, he had his own quote-unquote personal coach and his quarterback coach. And if teammates wanted to, talk to Russ, they had to go through a personal coach or somebody else to get, come on, that stuff happened, right? That stuff happened. Don't try to cover up for it. You shouldn't have done that, by saying, well, I had an office in Seattle to watch film, and, saying about Sean, we both have one ring, and just come on, just end it. Listen, Sean was the winner in that. It didn't work out. Sean got Bo Nix, and listen, thankfully it happened the way it is because we needed a young franchise quarterback. We got Bo Nix. He's one of the best in the NFL. We said thank you, but, you went on to Pittsburgh, battled it out with Justin Fields. You took over the job. They got rid of you. You went to the Giants, couple of games. You had one good game against Dallas. You got benched for Jackson Dart, right? So, if you're going to be in this league, you're going to be a backup, right? So let's be realistic. But now is not the time to come on and, be firing at Sean Payton, right? On the field, when Sean got in your face in those games and you just cowardly, kept your mouth shut and, okay, I'm not going to say anything. We see what Bo does, right? How Bo goes at him. You didn't go at him. That was your chance. But now, 2 years later, you're going to start throwing shots at Sean. Guys, just stop it. It's over. It didn't work out. Sean didn't want to coach you. And Sean was right. Sean was better off with a rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, and the Broncos are better off. So, hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Just listen, go quietly. If you're going to be a backup somewhere this year, please go quietly. But that's the end of it. I hope Sean don't answer him back. Just what's your thoughts on it? It's just, listen, we have bigger fish to fry now, right? We're looking to win a championship. We can't worry about Russell Wilson. But just a lot of this stuff, it wasn't true that he came on the podcast. I have one ring. Sean has one ring. Come on, just get over it. It didn't work out. And that's it. Bronco country. What do you think? I mean, I just think it's crazy. I wanted to bring it up. It is Bronco news. It made a couple headlines somewhere, but that's it. Just come on. It didn't work. You know what you did in Denver was not right before Sean came, right? And I love when Sean came and he said, when they, got asked about a personal coach and his own office, and he said, I don't know what you're talking about, but that's not happening here. And he just ended it, and that was it. Again, you had your chance on the field to stand up to him. You didn't. So don't be doing it now behind microphones. It's over. It's done with. Sean was right. You had a great career. See if you want to finish it out somewhere as a backup. Maybe you'll get a chance, to start somewhere with an injury or whatever. But otherwise, take your career And but that's enough. And Sean, I love you too, Sean, but like let's not even comment any back about it. Like we got to worry about our team. We can't worry about Russell Wilson. We shouldn't even mention it anymore. There's no more dead cap money. There's nothing about Russell Wilson. He's gone. It's over. Didn't work. We got Bo Nix. Sean, thank you for that. Broncos country. What's your thoughts on that? Last thing I want to do is I want to get to some viewer comments. And again, guys, if you want to get the latest Bronco news, the rumors, the trades, the any draft reports, anything you want to talk anything you want to talk about Broncos country, again, hey, anything NFL but mainly Broncos, please subscribe, like, get some more Broncos people in here, comment, and I will get to your comments throughout the shows. I got a couple comments that I want to get to. First one, Michael Pack, 7591. I don't think that Walker is worth the money he may demand. He's a so-so running back that had a fantastic game in the Super Bowl, which raised his stock beyond his work. Thank you, Michael, for the comment. A lot of people that I'm, listening and watching are kind of saying the same thing. They don't think he's worth the 14 million, the 16 million, the 18 million. Like, it's crazy money for a running back. I think someone's going to give it to him. I just think we are in such a desperate need of running back that we have to be in the conversation for Kenneth Walker. Now, Travis Etienne going to be cheaper. Algier is going to be cheaper. So we are going to have different options, right? We are going to have different options. And again, the Etienne and Algier, those are probably the 1-2 that are going to be cheaper and they might be better fits. He did show in the postseason, he is a pretty damn good back, Walker, right? And you just saw in the Super Bowl, he changed that, how that game was played just with his running abilities, breaking tackles, his speed. So, I don't want to say he's a top 3 back in the NFL because he's not, but he's a pretty damn good back. And it's somebody I wouldn't mind on Denver. You're right, though. Is the money really worth it? Again, let's see what it is. It's probably going to be a bidding war. The Giants are in on him. The Chiefs are in on him. Broncos are supposedly in on him. We're going to be on somebody in the running back game. I mean, a lot of people, Albert Breer, saying the Broncos are going to be aggressive. So we'll see. But I might agree with you on that. I don't want to go crazy and spend all my money on one running back. We got to fix the running back room. But the thing is, there's some nice, Rico Dowdle. And we'll get to that in another comment. But yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. Again, let's see what the market's saying, how much it is. Because, again, I want to come out of free agency, linebacker, tight end, and, of course, an RB1. So, we may have to do some restructuring to get some more money, but let's get this thing done. Second comment from BK Niker. Stidham, I agree. Move on. $8 million. Yeah. I will say this again. He had his chance. When you have a championship team and there's a circumstance where your quarterback can't play, your backup has to come in, deliver, and win games. Stidham has not done that. And I don't want to hear, well, he's only played 3 games. Listen, I don't care. I'll ask you guys again. Are you confident in a big game in the regular season, and especially in the playoffs, are you confident that Jarrett Stidham can win you that game? I'm not. I saw it in the AFC Championship game. You saw it. Bonehead mistakes, fumbling, throwing the ball on the ground, throwing it up for a pick. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear, well, he didn't have much practice. And, he had a week of practice, right? He still had a week. The game, it wasn't like he got thrown in there in the second quarter. I think there's better options out there. And he's making a lot of money. $8 million or 6 months. That's a lot of money for a backup quarterback. I'm sorry. I'm moving on. It just, you're not who you are. You're not, you're not him. And again, listen, I like Josh Stidham. If you guys don't know, I'm an Auburn college football fan. And he was a quarterback in Auburn. He had some big wins. One year he beat number 1 Georgia. 2 weeks later, he beat number 1 Alabama. But I mean, I don't know how people can just go and say, well, we'll give him another chance. He's going to get better. We just saw it. So, I don't know. Get better. We got to get better there. BK Niker, I'm with you. Move on. Try to save some money, upgrade. There's going to be guys out there. There's going to be guys with more experience. We need an experienced backup. So if Bo ever goes down, especially in a playoff game, we have one with someone more experienced to go win that game and get us to a Super Bowl, maybe win us a Super Bowl. Thank you for that comment, BK Niker. Last comment, Nick Flancha. I'll be disappointed if this front office invests north of $10 million in a position running back devalued by this offense. Save money on running back by signing Algier or Dottle and spend bigger on wide receiver and or linebacker. Okay, a couple things there. I don't think it's going to be devalued by this offense with Davis Webb. You know, I think Sean knows he didn't run the ball as much, but in his defense, who's running the ball, right? We ran the ball with J.K. Dobbins, but, I mean, in a big game, are you giving it to Jaleel McLaughlin and Tyler Bidet? They're guys that might not make NFL rosters. They might not be in the pros this year. So, to his defense, that room was not good, especially Dobbins got down. Davis Webb. I think he is going to commit to running the ball more. So, I don't want to spend $20 million on a running back, $18 million, unless his name's Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley, but that's not going to happen. But let's see what we can get for Travis Etienne money-wise. But I like your thoughts of Algier and Dottle. I do, because I like one of those two guys with J.K. Dobbins. If I'm signing those two, I want to have Dobbins too. So give me Algier or Dottle with Dobbins and R.J. Harvey. And listen, I'll still draft a guy. And that's my running back room. Like I said, that's a championship, Super Bowl championship running back room. Not what we had last year. It wasn't. The other thing, you're talking about spending money on receiver and linebacker. Again, Devin Lloyd, go get him. If you can go get him, spend your money on it. I'm not spending a lot of money on Stranad. I can tell you that right now. We have Greenlaw. We don't know if he's going to be back. There talk today, it's still like 50-50 if he's going to be released. Drew Sanders has given us nothing. He's always hurt. So if you can get me Devin Lloyd, then spend the money. Otherwise, like I said yesterday, I think Singleton's going to be back. The Broncos love him. Vance loves him. Leader, 32 years old. They're saying he'd probably go from $6 million to $8 to $10 million. Okay, nothing that's not crazy. If that happens, and we don't get Devin Lloyd, first or second round, let's go get a linebacker, right? Let's go draft a linebacker again. Groom him. Then next year, he plays a little this year. Next year, he's ready to take over. I'm all for you on that. And the same thing with wide receiver. A.J. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Alec Pierce, if we can get him as a free agency. You know, we need weapons. We need weapons, and we got to fix the inside linebacker. That's our offseason. Running back, tight end, wide receiver, inside linebacker. We got to fix those. It's been from day one. No positions have changed. That's it, right? We have to fix those positions. So I'm with you. I don't know about $10 million. It might be a little more. Travis Etienne might be a little more than that, and I'd be willing to give Etienne the money. But if I can't get Etienne, I can't get Walker. Hey, I'll definitely look at Algier and Dotto and go from there. And like I said, look at linebacker, look at wide receiver. We also got to remember fit tight end in there, and let's go. Let's go Broncos country. We are less than 4 days, right? Monday, we can start negotiating with these guys. We're going to get information on Monday about who's going to be on this roster. And it might be beforehand, right? A couple of things came out today. Ben Powers, not going to be traded, not going to be restructured. He's coming back. Palczewski, the backup to him, they signed him. So that was a big signing for the Broncos. So we're making a little moves kind of with our guys, but I'm ready to hit this free agency on Monday and start making moves, right? I'll always say it this close. that close we were to getting to a Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl last year. Let's finish it off, Broncos country. Again, please subscribe, like, comment on the show. I will get to your comments on another edition of Broncos Daily, but that's going to do it for Broncos Daily today. Check back again. Any breaking news will be here. Check back for any other free agent news, draft, trade talk, and anything you want to talk Broncos. All right, Broncos country, have a good one. Check back for another edition of Broncos Daily, and go Broncos.